Jessyca Canizales. Thank you for joining with Grace and Joy Yoga on the mat today. For these next few moments, we're going to begin to tune into our vertical line, our spine, sort of unlock some stored or suppressed energy that we have in our base and move that up along by engaging our abdominals, keeping an open, healthy spine, allowing the two to work together so that we can channel a really healthy line of energy up from the base, through the heart, and up into the head. So this is an energetic practice where we'll be working through the chakras, as well as a physical practice, engaging, again, both our abdominals and our spine to work in harmony. So to get us started, we're going to start to do a cleansing practice, a bit of a kriya here, where we're opening up our base chakras. So our root chakra is oftentimes sort of overactive, and it's suppressed with quite a bit of stored energy. And so what we want to do is sort of stir that energetic pot, release myofascia, release our hip flexors, start working through the base here, again, physically and energetically, so that we can build this practice along with our energetic values. So we're going to keep our base nice and firm onto the ground, and we're going to come into a really easy posture on the floor, a nice seated pose. We're going to inhale, lift up nice and tall through the spine, and as we exhale, we're going to fold forward, keeping our seat onto the floor. I'm just going to kind of melt and surrender into the bend, and as we inhale, we're going to swoop it up, coming to the right side, bringing it back, and exhaling as we take it down. So continue to pair this motion, this cyclic movement, with your breath. Inhaling as we rise, and exhaling as we release. So continue on in this process. We can take the folds really nice and deep, bringing the shoulders low to the ground. Or we can take it rather shallow and work more of the upper body. So keeping the shoulders quite high, and just releasing the spine a bit higher up through the vertebrae. So we're going to continue to use the breath to, again, just stir this energetic pot. Start waking up the body on lots of different levels. This is a practice that we can also do alone in isolation, not before an asana practice. And some individuals practice this kriya for up to 20 minutes a day. It's just a nice opportunity to start to tune in and discern the movement, the tightness or the stickiness of your spine, and to start using the breath to sort of release some of that tightness. So we're just going to take one more cycle up. Ground down again in the sit bones. Inhale through the heart. And take it to the other side. Exhaling down, really moving all segments of the spine. Inhaling, coming up to the other side. We don't have to take each side in an even manner. It's just about getting the body moving. So for me, that's exactly what yoga is. It's just one form, one medium of movement. So some artists prefer oils, and others like pastels, and some would prefer to work with watercolors. And so for me, I really enjoy movement, and I encourage other people to move their bodies. And so yoga is one accessible and fun medium. So we'll take a few more revolves in this direction. And as we come up into a neutral spine, we're going to just take our legs and stack them. So we want to make sure that we have a nice wide seat between the pelvis and the calves here. So we want to keep our joints stacked. Knee is stacked on top of ankle, and ankle is stacked on top of knee. So again, there's a nice wide space here in the seat. The legs are not brought into the body. They're extended out. We'll take our hands at heart center, and again, just bringing awareness into the vertical line, grounding through the sit bones, lifting through floating ribs, squeezing upper ribs, releasing the shoulders and keeping the heart open. Just taking a few breaths here to feel that vertical line and make any little tweaks or micro movements to lengthen your spine. Take the hands to heart center. Inhale, pull up. Keep the shoulders down, awareness up. Exhale, fold forward, bringing the gaze down to the floor and then into the tummy. Release the hands when you're ready and really release here into the posture. If your head isn't able to touch the floor, that's okay. You can hold the posture wherever it's accessible for you today. If it's almost at the floor, you could use a block or maybe your fist to just create a little rest here. The idea is that you're breathing here, most typically through the hip flexors and the sacrum, the lower back. And just connect here with your breath, using the breath to create space in the body. With the next inhale, we bring the hands together, palms together, rise the body and the energy. Exhale, open the arms out. Inhale, turn the palms back. Exhale, grab the hands, straighten out the elbows, lift up through the heart, pushing back and down, releasing the shoulders. Coming into a forward fold, lead with the heart, hinge at the hips. Bring again the body down as low as you can and then begin to extend the arms up to the ceiling or advancing to the wall behind your head. Be sure to keep your palms together. Don't release. You'll be able to go further. But you want to make sure that you're building a safe, strong, healthy shoulder girdle. So keep your palms together. Breathing here, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. And on the next inhale, we rise the body, keep the fist together, and take them to the left hip. Turn the gaze to the right shoulder. Inhale, elongate through the heart. Exhale, twist at the waist. Inhale again, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, holding here or maybe twisting a little deeper. Inhale, release the head, the waist, and releasing the hands. Lift up through the hips, lifting up again, releasing through the chakras, extending the heart, and opening the throat. Bring the bum back down to the earth. Keep the hands here to ground you, and just release to the other side. Again, being sure that we have a nice stacked formation with the legs, and that we have some nice space between the pelvis and the calves. Sitting up nice and tall again onto the sit bones. We'll take the hands to heart center. Inhale, pull the awareness up, keep the shoulders down. Exhale, hinging through the hips, nice long forward fold, gaze to the floor and then to the belly. Breathing here through the back of the heart, through the back of the lungs, bringing the air down, expanding and releasing any stress here in the sacrum. On the next inhale, you rise the body. Bring the arms out, turn the palms down, reach around, lifting up through the heart and releasing the shoulders once again. Extending into the forward fold, lengthening through the hip flexors, leading with the heart. Coming here into the bend and releasing the arms up to the ceiling or maybe deeper. Again, be mindful of the palms staying together and elbows are nice and straight. On the next inhale, we rise the body nice and long. Take the fist to the right hip. Take the gaze to the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen through the heart. Exhale, twist deeply here. Inhale again, lengthening. Holding the twist or perhaps augmenting it just a bit more. Gaze follows the head. And with the next breath, release the head, shoulders, ribs, and waist. Drop the hands to the floor and lift up through the hip flexors. It's a nice little counter stretch, releasing, lifting through the shoulders, and coming back onto the bum again. We're now going to move to facing the front of our mat, and we're going to come up to all fours. So as we take it to all fours, we want to check in with just some basic alignment. We want to make sure that the knees are under the hips and that the ankles are coming right outside from the knees. Sometimes there's a tendency to bring the feet in together, and we want to make sure that we're activating those inner thigh muscles by keeping the feet out parallel from the knees and parallel to each other. We're going to take the hands and bring them right in front of the knees, and those shoulders come right on top of the wrist. So we have a very cubical sort of framework to our bodies. We're going to rest the feet onto the arches, and we're going to inhale, relax the belly to the ground, drop the shoulders into the socket. Once we've got a nice breath, we lift the gaze up to the ceiling. As we exhale, we pull the belly into the spine, tuck the pelvis, and push into the mat, using the floor to open up our shoulder girdle. We're just going to repeat this 2 more times. Inhale, soft belly. Get a nice big breath before you lift the chin and constrict the throat. Exhale, pull the belly in. Think about the motion and movement of our segmented spine. Last one, inhale. And exhale. As we inhale here, we're going to take a neutral back. Exhale, we're going to swoop the right arm, left foot out. So what's important here is not the height of the leg, but that all toes are pointing evenly to the ground. The hips are as square or even as they can be. So are the shoulders. And the gaze is at the floor so that the neck remains nice and long. Got a nice, long, energetic spine. Breathing here. And at the next inhale, we can release, coming down, and exhale, take it to the other side. Same thing, all toes pointing to the earth, hips and shoulders are square. Don't collapse into that supporting shoulder. Keep it nice and open, and keep the gaze to the ground. Slowly release. From here, we're going to ease our way into downward facing dog, first by tucking our toes and giving a sweet little pounce back, bringing the bum into the heels. Just a few times. This is strengthening and widening our foot bandha, allowing us greater support and a bigger surface area to work on when we come to standing postures. Once we've done a few little rocks, we're going to start to lift the knees. Before we straighten them all the way, we extend the chest into the thighs. Tuck the gaze, the head, so we're looking towards the navel, and slowly, either one at a time or both, we're going to ease the knees straight and bring the heels to the floor. We're going to take a few breaths here in downward dog, and I encourage you to move during these breaths, making just little micro adjustments to your alignment. So keeping the chest pushing into the thighs, keeping the gaze towards the belly, not at the knees, which might appear more accessible. We really want to stick with keeping the gaze towards the belly here, even if that means we have a little deeper bend in the knee or the heels are a little higher off the ground. It's just going to ensure, again, proper abdominal alignment, and it even is going to affect how our pelvis bone is oriented in a lot of postures. So keep the gaze at the belly. Keep breathing and moving in through this dog, working through the space, working through your body, through the breath.
As we start to pick up the pace here, we want to remember that in Vinyasa Yoga, breath precedes the motion. So we want to use the breath to move the body. We're going to practice that now. We're going to inhale, spill the weight into plank. Make any adjustments you need to come into this plank. Exhale, bring the knees down. Take the chest between the hands, keep the elbows into the body, and rest the chin onto the horizon. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck it to plank. Push it back into downward dog. Again, gaze at the belly. Inhale, spill it to plank. Exhale, bring it down. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to take 3 more of these. Inhale, move the spine from dog to plank. Exhale, come down, keep the bum lifted. Inhale, drop the hips, rise the heart, shoulders down and back, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck the toes to plank and push the hips into downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. From here, we're going to breathe, releasing the head, keeping the gaze at the navel. We're going to rise high to the toes, bring the knees to the earth, coming back into all fours. Again, making little micro adjustments as needed. We're going to keep the toes tucked. And we're going to lift that left foot facing towards the ceiling. We're going to lift the right knee coming into 3-legged dog. Gaze at the navel. Rise up to the toe. Come back to downward dog. Exhale. Inhale. Back to the knees. Rise the right. Lift the left. Downward dog. Inhale. Bring it down. Exhale, inhale, back to the knees. From here, inhale, lifting that left leg, right arm again, being mindful of hips and shoulders, nice and square. Long neck, gaze maintains at the mat. Breathing here, begin to bend that foot, taking the arm, reaching around. If you've secured the foot, kick into the hand so you're making space in the hip flexor as well as into the shoulder. Breathing here, keeping the ribs squeezed. Exhale, release the hand to the earth. Straighten the foot and extend it out to the side. Bring it back, take it down, and we'll take it to the other side. Inhale, raise the right leg, left arm. Keep the gaze towards the mat, squaring the hips and the shoulders. Slowly, we bend the knee and reach around to grab the foot. Once you've grabbed the foot, press into the foot to create the space again in the hip flexor and the shoulder girdle. Release it here, bring the hand down to the earth to ground you and extend it out to the side and coming back. Coming back down to all fours, tuck the toes, lift the knees and return to downward facing dog. Breathing here. We're going to slowly raise the right leg. Again, keeping hips square to the earth, gazes at the belly. Try to neutralize or stabilize the abdominal movement by securing the hips and shoulders right where they are. Slowly bring the foot back down to downward facing dog and just make little adjustments as needed to prepare for the other side. Slowly lifting the left leg, trying to minimize the movement in the abdominals. Keeping the hips and shoulders square. Bring it down. Pressing back here into downward facing dog, rising to the toes, coming back down into the earth. We're going to keep the bum lifted and we're going to extend the arms out in front, opening up the shoulders. So we spend a fair amount of time on the wrist as well as opening the shoulder girdle. So this is a nice little counter, stretching through the armpits, through the upper chest, breathing here. If it's a bit much on the neck, you can rest the third eye onto the mat, but then you won't get as deep of a stretch in the throat chakra. Taking one more breath here. We're going to exhale and sort of just melt onto the forearms and bring the body down to the earth. We'll take the hands just below the shoulders, keep the elbows into the body, shoulders down. Inhale, roll the body up. Exhale, roll the body down. Inhale. Exhale. Soft belly, but active abdominals. Last one. We're going to tuck the toes from here and push up into plank. We're going to drop the heels to the right side, keep this bottom hip lifted, and take the arm up. Come back through plank, pivot onto the feet, keep pushing the weight forward, drop it now to the other side, lift up. We're going to take 2 more sets like this. Rolling through center, lifting in that under hip, keeping heart open. Again, pushing weight forward to keep the body weight through the shoulder girdle. Spilling weight forward, last set. Coming back, coming to the knees, and then just stretching out one more time right here in this puppy press. Breathing through the upper back. Exhaling through the armpits. One more breath, and we're going to sink back onto the bellies, resting the third eye chakra onto the earth. We'll extend the hands out in front. Use the floor again to open or advance the shoulder girdle. And as we exhale, we lift by pressing the pelvis into the ground, lifting upper body and lower body, keeping the shoulders relaxed down and back, pressing through the hips and pelvis. Gently exhale, return to the floor. For this next time, we take the hands, bring them to the back, and clasp them. Again, remembering to keep the palms together. Inhale, straightening the elbows. Exhale, pressing down with the pelvis to lift the body. Breathing here and coming back. Releasing the hands. For this last one, we're going to reach around and grab the feet. So we bring the feet into the body and we grab at the arches. Inhale, exhale to lift up. You can reach around. And release. We're going to tuck the toes right here and bring the body to the forearms. Pushing up, really utilizing the power of the hands, pressing the elbows into the earth, keeping the shoulders down and back. Squeeze the ribs into the spine. Bring the body down. Take the hands to either side. Tuck it back into plank. And we're going to hold here. Be sure to keep the shoulders down and releasing. So we don't want to be sinking or collapsing in the shoulders. So they're pushing into the earth, but they're pushing down into the spine, not up into the ears. If you're hyperextended in your elbows like I am, you do want to try to create a little bend in the elbows so that you're not stretching or extending through that joint. From here, exhale, pull the belly up into the spine and take it to downward facing dog. Breathing here into the dog, releasing the heels, gaze towards the belly, turning the elbows in slightly, releasing again through the shoulders. From here, we're going to rise high to the toes, bring the gaze to the front of the mat. We're going to step right, step left. Come down and bring yourself to a seat on the mat. Keep the knees into the chest, shoulders down and back. From here, we're going to take Navasana, hands at heart center. Inhale, press the palms together. Exhale, open the legs. Breathing here. You can straighten the legs, but be sure to keep the shoulders down and back and a nice long belly. Take one more breath and we'll release. From here, we're going to extend out into a forward fold. We'll take our right leg and just bend it over into the left. Take the knee into the chest, being mindful again of the sit bones and a nice long spine. I'm going to take the hands at heart center. Inhale. Exhale, twisting at the waist, ribs, then at the shoulders. We drop left elbow to right knee and take the gaze to the right shoulder. Breathing here. Releasing all the toxins, working with the heat that we've created. And come back through center line and we'll release. We'll take it to the other side. Take the left in. Squeeze the left into center line. Take the hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale at the waist. Drop the elbow to augment the twist. Even the gaze. Release. And extend. We're going to take our hands now to either side of our hips. And we're going to do a little Lalasana prep and a nice deep drop down to release any of that lingering sticky energy. So we're going to inhale, bring it forward, exhale, release. We're going to do that 4 more times. Don't be afraid to come down hard. 3 more. Inhale, pushing forward, release. Last one. And release. For this last few postures here, we're going to bring the knees in. And we're going to just finish off here with a nice little Kapalabhati. So we're pulling again the awareness into the vertical line. Keeping the pelvis bone perpendicular with the earth.
belly in, ribs squeezed. Shoulders are on top of the hips and they are relaxed. We're going to take our palms open and out, really nice active fingers, energetically spilling out from our Anahata chakra, our heart zone. Again, keeping the shoulders down and back. We'll begin to work with breath of fire. So we'll inhale here, exhale. Inhale. Want to squeeze up through the pelvic floor, press in with the navel, squeeze with the ribs, holding here. And release. Just extend the feet out one more time into a nice staff pose, lifting up tall onto the sit bones, taking the hands to heart center. Inhale up. And then exhale, fold down in release and surrender. Spend a few nice deep breaths, trying to respond to the space that the exhale allows you, coming a little deeper or a little more gently into the posture. And just release here.